Common Council of the City of Connersville is now in session. Please rise. We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Connie Durham.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If everyone would please silence their cell phones, we'll have our invocation by Reverend Don Miller.
Let's pray. Father, we're thankful for this time we just have to come together. Just pray, Father, you'll bless this council as they meet tonight. We pray, Father, for good decisions. We know, Father, they have sacrificed their time, energies to come here and represent all the citizens of Connersville. We just pray, Father, you'll be with them as they meet and give them good decisions. We pray, Father, for unity in our country.
Amen.
Father, this last week, National Day of Prayer, the focus was on unity. And I just pray, Father, as we pray to you just now, that you will indeed help us to be unified in the halls of this building, in the county, in the state, churches of our city, and schools of our city, national government. But Father, especially in our own hearts and in our minds, help us, Father, to be unified and to love you and to respect you and to do your will each and every day. Father, we'd like to today lift up Council Member Gabe Nobby, who was just elected Teacher of the Year for Fayette County. Just continue to bless him in his work, and we're thankful, Father, for his good efforts, and others cared enough about him to nominate him, and he was elected. It's a great honor for Gabe to have. Father, we're just thankful for life. Father, you favored us today with a great day, but help us, Father, to realize that days like this are few and far between right now, but we'll just take what we get. And help us, Father, to love you, and especially your Son, Jesus, who came to this land, to the world, to provide for us an opportunity of eternal life, but Father, perhaps even more important than that, abundant life each and every day as we care for each other and serve each other. Father, just be with these people as they meet tonight. In Christ's name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, sir. Don, I wouldn't have got it if I didn't have such a great guidance counselor. I wouldn't have got that if I didn't have such a great guidance counselor.
Okay, just like to welcome everyone tonight, and you have the minutes of the April 16th meeting. Is there any, roll call?
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call.
Councilman Bishop,
Present.
Councilman Nobby.
Here.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Present.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Present.
Councilman Nutty,
Present.
Councilwoman Durham,
Present.
Councilman Frank.
Here. Okay, now, you have the minutes of the April 16th meeting. Is there any additions or corrections that should be made at this time? If not, entertain a motion to be passed as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Wasn't very good there. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, going down to new business. Daryl?
All right, I'm not normally up here for this, but I need $25,000. Okay?
You want a check or cash?
Either way, I'm good. Now, this is for a paver that we're buying.
There was a law that changed July of last year that of the monthly MBH fees that we receive, we are supposed to spend 50% of that on construction and reconstruction of the streets. And this would cover under the reconstruction of the streets, so we would be able to use this money as to pay for this paver, and then he would also be able to do the smaller, like alleys and the smaller roads and that kind of thing. So we do need to advertise for the additional for $25,000 under equipment. And last year, when we were doing the community crossing grant, we had promised the $125,000 that we had in MBH for to be set aside for future matches. And so I'm requesting to increase that 125,000 so we can do $125,000 of paving the streets, additional streets over and above the community crossing grant that will be covered. The money is there. They have it set up to where, so it's been accumulating since July of last year, and all money that we have used for the allocated construction or reconstruction has been taken away. So we still have to be mindful and make sure we spend that money. And that's the best way.
This paver is a 2005 Cedar Rapids. Okay, it'll go from 8 foot out to 12 foot. Our current paver is, well, it still runs and it will pave. It's just pieced together with baling twine. It's a 1979. So let's give credit to our past and present mechanics for keeping, same year as my roller, by the way. Hint. I'm not going to be greedy though. I'll take one at a time. We're buying this paver off Powell's.
What kind of warranties it got with it? Nothing.
Drives off the lot.
Yeah, as soon as it leaves the lot.
You get nothing at all?
Oh, and Powell's are going to help us whatever they can. I know that. And it's not in writing, but you know, they have money to gain besides the cost of the paver. The reason why they're getting rid of it is they're going to a track model. So.
So you're saying this money would come out of
The MVH allocations, that's supposed to be used only for the construction and reconstruction of the roads.
So the 125 that you were mentioning, that includes the 25 he's talking
No,
about?
I'm gonna do a total of
You're gonna do
150, so, and that would level out what we need to spend for this year.
Okay.
How is runtime measured on that, Darrell? Is it measured in hours or miles or feet or?
Hours.
The hours are on it.
I knew somebody was going to ask that. I don't know. I'll be honest.
Well, Powell's maintained everything meticulously.
Right.
That's one
They do.
advantage of knowing where you're getting it from.
Yeah. So,
So you're requesting to advertise for this?
Yes,
150 from MVH.
450,000,
right.
25 of which is for this. and
It'll be separated as 25,000 for other equipment, 125,000 for paving.
Okay,
From the MVH accumulated fund.
Right.
right.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to advertise. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we can advertise.
thank you.
And your list is growing, right?
Every day.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's is.
Don't ask, I have enough.
Darrell, while you're here, can you go ahead and give us a schedule of what, everybody's asking about potholes.
Yes.
Can you give us a schedule on, so they'll know, because I know they've got questions and,
Okay.
And mowing.
Yes, and mowing, yes. We're playing catch up on both. Okay. The patching schedule right now is every day that I possibly can when I have the manpower to do it. I didn't get to patch today because I had too many people off. And today was our first grass pickup day. So that took 6 people out of my fleet of people immediately.
You say grass pickup day?
Yeah.
So you're doing yard waste now?
Yes, yard waste. First and third, Mondays. As far as the mowing goes, so far, we've kind of kept up on it. It hasn't looked real bad. We have kept up on the cemetery, which is very important to me. But I am going to be patching every day that I possibly can. I'm probably going to pick up a couple of good canvas tarps and start patching out of dump trucks also. Because right now I only got one hot box. And just the way the weather has played out for us, I'm so far behind I'll never get caught up if I don't do something else.
How long have we been picking up yard clipping? Do you know?
As far as I can remember. 12, 14, 16 years maybe.
When do you get your college help or summer help?
I'll bring them in on the 15th.
Okay. I do assume.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much done for everybody, 15th, the college help?
Well,
That's what my contract says anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's what the park.
I just want everybody, to hear from you. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
And please continue to call in. I was just kidding. I don't really have enough.
And the part-time help takes away from them, gets you back out of the mowing, right?
Yes. Yes. That will allow us to go out and do some paving and some heavy duty patching and things like that. Get the grinder out where we need to. Still have to contend with sick days, personal days, and vacation days, but we'll do the best we can. If I have to, I'll get out there. Done it before. So,
Okay, thank you, Daryl.
you're
Thanks, sir.
welcome.
Thanks, Joel.
Okay, going down to the resolutions, 2018, 20, you want to go ahead and explain those, Rosemary?
Are we planning on taking all 2018, 26, 27, 28, and 29 together?
Sounds great.
It's fine with me.
Resolution 2018-26 is a reimbursement of $780 going into the police telephone and $40 to be reappropriated to the first aid uniforms. Resolution 2018-27 is a resolution to reimburse $13 into the police other contractual service. Resolution 2018-28 is a resolution moving $3,812.57 from general to the blight elimination grant. That is to cover or finish covering the city of Connersville's match for taking those last 6 houses down.
Is that in total?
Total. Because there was some left over from the first 2 rounds that we were able to apply to this 3rd round.
Okay, so that's it with that, right?
Yes. Resolution 2018-29 is a reimbursement of $265 going into the police minor equipment.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept resolution 2018-26 through 29.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to pass resolutions 2018-26 through 29. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, going down to pending ordinance 3418. Gabe, would you like to speak on these about taking them? We have public hearing, and I asked Gabe if he would mind that we take F, G, and let's see,
And H.
and go ahead and take all the public hearing at once. People may speak on them.
Yeah, basically there's quite large sums of money coming out, and if we have a lot of people who like to speak on them individually, I think we can do that. If there's no objection, I think we should be able to take those all together. So if that's the case,
Let me go ahead and explain. Pending ordinance 3418 is requesting additional appropriation for the Lloyd Special Distribution Account in the amount of $41,479.45 going into other contractual services, $24,735.99 going into the roads and streets. Pending ordinance 3419 is requesting an additional appropriation of $200,000 going to other contractual services in the council general fund.
and this was for
This
the
is
paper
just-
part, just in case.
Just to cover,
Cover the-
because we do have an NDOT grant coming in for $200,000, but we have not been able to bill them yet. As soon as we get the final plans submitted for phase 1, then we could submit the application for the grant to get the first 100,000. And then as we progress on phase 1, then as we give them the updates, we'll be able to get the second $100,000. So this is just to cover that, if we don't get that in a timely manner, to cover the
The
contract.
money we get
That's a
back,
DNR
we'll
grant.
put back in the general.
Yes, it will, this will be going back.
That's a DNR grant, not an NDOT grant, right?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, you're
That's okay.
correct.
And we already got the grant, it's just covering
Just,
that short term.
just to get it, to invoice them. Pending ordinance 3420 is requesting additional appropriation in the amount of $30,000 for park other contractual. This 30,000 will cover the engineering fees for the phase 1 and then also to finish off their animal park fencing.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close the meeting and open up for a public hearing. So I'll close the meeting and open it up for the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for or against these 3? Pending orders 3418, 3419, or 3420. Is there anyone here to speak against or for? Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I'll open it up to the council. Anybody like to pass pending ordinance 3418, 3419, and 3420 on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we want to go on and suspend the rules and go to third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, passed on. Move on to third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
You have a motion second to go on to third and final reading. Is there any more discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Passed. Okay, go on down to pending ordinance 3421.
It's a pending ordinance to transfer $1,424 from police gasoline to police computer maintenance. Pending ordinance 3423 is a ordinance to transfer $4,788 from fire minor equipment to furnitures and fixtures.
Okay, is there a motion to pass?
I have a question first.
Okay.
On the gasoline with prices going up, is they gonna leave us enough in there?
I think so. We had transferred too much out of the computer maintenance last month, and that's what put us in a deficit. So at this time, I would have to say yes.
From what you see on television and hear on the news, this is gonna get kind of pretty dramatic as far as gas prices going up.
Well, we'll just have to watch it.
That's all we can do.
And the fire, the reason why they're transferring that, they are replacing the, all the beds, which are like 20 years old.
I move we pass pending ordinance 3421, 3422. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass pending orders 3421 and 3423. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, is there a motion to suspend the rule and go to third and final?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and go to third and final. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Is there a motion to pass on third and final reading? You have a motion and a second to pass on third and final. Is there any more discussion? If not, okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. And going down to old business. Anybody like to discuss anything on old business?
Well, it's not old business, but on May 17th at 6 PM in the Commissioners' Room, they're having a special meeting with Mike Dora. He's head of the Indiana USDA. They've actually invited all the public and all the council. He wanted me to invite the council to this meeting. I was talking about what they're trying to do with the grant the hospital's getting and how they want to pursue future drivers to that, as far as not just the hospital rehab, the complete picture of what they're trying to do with that. Mike's very passionate about what the hospital's doing, as far as not just getting people clean, but as far as the complete process of getting them completely healed. And it'd be a good meeting to attend. I'd encourage you guys to go.
Is it the
What time was
courthouse?
that again?
It's at the Commissioner's Room in the courthouse. If there's too many people, they said they'd move it upstairs to one of the courtrooms. But it's May 17th at 6 PM. And it's a special Commissioners meeting with Mike Dora.
And it's a good meeting you need to go to because it's about,
It's a lot.
there's a lot to learn here, and the hospital's got 48 beds, and they're looking for a place to move some of these people, so and I encourage you guys to go to this meeting. Okay. I'll go into miscellaneous business. On Saturday, May 12th, you got something to say?
Go right ahead.
Okay. On Saturday, May 12th, from 8 AM to 11:30 is Shred Day. It's free at the transfer station. And encourage, if you got anything, you need to take it down there and have it shredded. They'll do it for free. And again, of course, that's already let out. I'd also thank Gabe Nobby for being elected Teacher of the Year. That's a great honor for anyone. And a good job, Gabe.
Thank you.
And appreciate that. Anybody got any miscellaneous?
I do, if I may.
Okay.
I went through the ordinances, Daryl, just, you and I talked, and Gabe, I think you mentioned it, about weight restrictions on the people who picks up the trash and what have you, when we talked about the lift, putting up some kind of a meter on there. I went through the book 3 times and I can find nothing in there where there's any information about it. So I talked to Daryl, and I don't know if you had a chance to talk to the vendor that you're,
No, we just did get bids in and open today. Like I said before, that will be an additional. However, now that you've mentioned that, we had a can of Indecent we could not pick up.
that's my point.
Yeah. The truck would not pick it up.
So it does have some kind of restriction on it.
It does, yes.
Okay.
Now, what that can weigh, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but it had to be an ungodly weight for that thing not to pick it up.
What weight were we talking about at the last meeting?
I think 70 pounds, wasn't it? That's for the person to pick up, correct,
For the
Daryl?
person to pick up, I think.
That wasn't for that wasn't for the lift truck,
No,
that
it's gotta
was,
be more than that for the lift truck.
Yeah.
But there's nothing-
It's gonna weigh what, 30, 35
Yeah,
pounds?
right.
I went through that ordinance book 3 times and there's nothing in there about it.
So it just seems like the truck does have a weight limit. We need to know what that weight limit is.
Yeah, but it's gonna break it.
Yeah,
So,
it couldn't lift it, that's,
I just went there.
and that's not. a
Right
good
there,
weight.
it could've broke
Yeah.
it, right there, just with the strain of trying to lift it.
No, come on.
okay. So,
And, were you gonna follow up on that, please?
Yeah, just as soon as we decide on whoever's getting the bid, we'll address it right then before we take the vote.
And I have one other quick thing. I've gotten several calls about the long line of these tank cars like we used to have with the car carriers on the railroad. Are we gonna have to look at them all summer? Unfair
That-
question, but
yeah, that's, I can ask Carol. Carol, you know anything about?
That's privately owned.
Yeah.
I believe those tracks were rented to CSX. The rail cars are empty, last time I checked. It's private business.
it's an
They
eyesore.
receive rent on each and every car.
It's an eyesore is what it is. Coming
I mean,
into the city.
we can say something to them, but we can't enforce anything. Is that correct?
You know,
Even then, saying something to
private
them.
business.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time saying something. Tell them, trust me.
I do have, Daryl, on that, the container that the truck could not pick up.
Yeah.
Was a note made of the address and maybe for somebody to contact that person?
I believe that our driver did tag it.
So they can be contacted, and, yeah, because,
Yeah. Don't know what was in the bottom of it, but what he could see was a whole lot of glass. I guess this guy strips out TVs.
okay, well, that's not what that's meant for.
The other issue you have with it is there's a lot of renovation going on, and these contractors are using it at their convenience instead of hauling it down to the transfer station.
Sure they are.
I've seen it done,
Sure they are.
and it's just a matter of time till it's gonna break again.
Yeah, but not sure how you would ever enforce something like that.
Right.
Especially if they're smart enough to close the lid.
Yeah, no weight restrictions, don't want to do that.
That's my yes.
Yeah, and that would help, yeah.
Do what?
Really, the best thing is just leave it right there.
And we did.
Okay. So,
I'd like to propose we call some other cities and see if they have them and talk about it at the next meeting, because I got a concern about that. As much as we spend on working on that trash truck, and we're getting ready to buy a new one.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Thank you.
okay. Anybody else got anything?
We do know that the elders luncheon will be coming up in about 10 days, I think.
Yeah.
And Marianne Morris always does a great job getting some good volunteers for that. And, I know that those who attend look forward to that every year. So I appreciate them continuing on year after year.
So that's 80 and above, isn't it?
Yeah, 80 and
My
above.
mother loves it.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a great way to show respect to
6:30.
the greatest generation.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to encourage this, maybe here or whatever, but I'd like to encourage everybody to get out and vote tomorrow.
Yes.
I know that's not a lot of races, but it's not only a privilege, it's a privilege duty. I mean, it's your duty to go vote.
it's your duty as a citizen to do
As a
it.
citizen, these people, there are people at the polls, 5 at each one, and we need some company because it gets really long when people don't come in and see us. It's really a long day. It's discouraging to know that tiny amount of people in the state or city determine what's going to happen.
I agree.
And if you don't vote, don't complain. And
Amen.
yeah, I've done it before. Somebody will be complaining about something, and I'll say, "Did you vote?" No. I said, "Don't talk to me, because go vote. You can do something about it." And just want to encourage everybody to get out and vote.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Along with that, trash will be picked up. Okay?
Okay.
Tomorrow. The offices will be closed. Trash will be picked up.
So the Tuesday runs.
Runs.
Okay.
Am I correct that only Thanksgiving and Christmas it does not run?
That's the only two.
And I do have one more thing. This is just a kind of hot button for me, that I've driven around town, and it is mowing season for homeowners as well as for the city. And I've seen an overabundance of people, maybe people don't realize that the part between the sidewalk and the street is your responsibility to mow too. It's not just the dandelions in some cases. I mean, you're responsible to the street. And it just seems like people are slower this year mowing the first time. And it's not just Connersville. I was in Richmond last week and the same thing. I mean, I don't know what it is. And there's been enough sunny days. I've mowed mine twice, had mine mowed twice. So just a reminder, it's everybody's responsibility to keep this city looking beautiful.
Okay, is there anything else from the council? Okay, I'll go ahead and open up to the public. Would you like to speak? Yes.
Yeah.
You had to come to the podium and give us your name.
Is that under new business or is that?
It's under public. Under public forum.
Yeah.
We're ready for you.
All right, you ready for me?
Yes, just give me your name, where you live, please.
My name is Ron Rajala. Hello, everybody. I'm a new resident here. I've been here only maybe 5 months, 4 months. And it's been a long time since I've come to one of these meetings, so.
Well, we appreciate you coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I have a concern about mosquitoes. It all started when it was last summer, I guess, yeah, or last summer, when the house that I lived next to was a rental, and there's maybe about 10 tires laying outside the property, you know, with open tires, in other words, without rims. And last summer, it was so unbearable I couldn't even go outside and work. You know, there were swarms of mosquitoes. I mean, it was just terrible. I couldn't keep from getting bitten. So I started thinking, you know, that I've got to do something about that this year, because as soon as the weather gets warmer, it's going to start swarming again, you know. And I don't know if you all know, mosquitoes come from stagnant water, any place where water's laying around, right? So I ended up buying these mosquito bits. They're called mosquito bits. You can put them inside tires so that it kills the larvae inside the tires, all right? And so I asked the neighbor if I could, you know, put them inside the tire and to keep it from, you know, to kill the larvae, and he says no, I didn't want that. So then I called the city ordinance and got involved with that, and that's when I called Debbie here about that. And
That was here that happened? Did
Yeah.
You contacted your neighbor here?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's just one of these tough, selfish type people that, you know, only care about themselves. So
Are they junk tires?
yeah. Well, I don't know how junky they are, but
Just throw in the heap? Is that
they're
right?
just
How many
in
were
a
there?
pile.
You say there's,
There were about 10 of them, and I think a few of them had rims on them, but most of them didn't have rims.
I think I missed your address.
I'm on 707 West 17th. So, anyways, you know, I was getting bitten, and I don't like getting bitten, because nowadays, you know, these mosquitoes carry viruses, and so I did a little research, and I'd like to tell you what I found. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is from the indiana.gov website, by the way. It says, state health officials are urging Hoosiers again this year to take steps to protect themselves from mosquito-borne diseases, including Eastern equine encephalitis, St. Louis encephalitis, and West Nile virus. State health officials say although Eastern equine encephalitis is rare, 30% of the people who develop the disease may die, making it one of the deadliest mosquito-borne diseases in the United States. According to the State Department of Health, approximately half of those who survive EEE illness will have permanent neurological problems. Most people infected with the virus will not have symptoms. There is not a vaccine available to prevent the disease in humans, nor is there a specific treatment. And then another disease called La Crosse encephalitis virus is transmitted to humans by the bite of an infected mosquito. Some of those who become ill develop severe neuroinvasive disease. It's a disease that affects the nervous system. Severe LACV disease often involves encephalitis, which is an inflammation of the brain, and can include seizures, coma, paralysis. Severe disease occurs most often in children under the age of 16. In rare cases, long-term disability or death can result from La Crosse encephalitis. There is no specific treatment for LACV infection. Care is based on symptoms. And the last one is the West Nile virus. Usually causes West Nile fever, a milder form of the illness, which can include fever, headache, body aches, swollen lymph glands, or a rash. A small number of individuals can develop a more severe form of the disease with encephalitis or meningitis and other neurological syndromes, including flaccid muscle paralysis. Health officials report individuals aged 50 and over are at greatest risk for serious illness and even death from West Nile virus. However, people of all ages can be and have been infected with the virus. So now that you know what can come from mosquito-borne diseases, I would like to propose that there be no open tires allowed, not even one, in the city. Now, saying that, there's a lot of commercial companies that have tires, from maybe they're a tire store or whatever. And in that situation, for the commercial people, businesses, I would say that they should tarp the tires, all be under tarps. This way the water that's in there would evaporate out and kill the larvae. Now, there's also other things that have stagnant water, like say bird feeders, this kind of thing. I think they shouldn't be allowed either. Anything that has stagnant water should not be allowed. Not even a little bit, not even one tire. Because all it takes is just one tire to create mosquito larvae. And nowadays with the, with viruses spreading and viruses mutating and all this other kind of stuff, I think it's really important.
I think we just did a
We changed it to
change in
4.
ordinance.
I was gonna say, there's something in there about that, I just saw it.
It's 4 is
I can't
too many.
remember where it was at, but
If you have 4, you might as well have 10. 4 doesn't do anything.
Well,
I
Well,
don't
we
think there should be.
changed it to 4, which was less than it was, and then we had some free days at the transfer station encouraging people to take their tires who might
Mm-hmm.
not have the money. We do have an ordinance enforcer, so what I would suggest is if that problem occurs this summer, that you contact the ordinance enforcer if there's stagnant water in 10 tires.
Yes, I already
That's
did.
an ordinance
I
violation.
already did. The problem there is that it takes time for, they give them, I think, 10 days or 2 weeks to dispose of the tires, and by that time, the larvae have already hatched, and it's not a very good system. And then even after that, even at that point, if they don't remove it by that time, then it involves the court, and that could involve a month or 2, so.
And that's gonna happen if the ordinance is changed to none. It's gonna happen, and it's actually gonna be multiplied. The enforcement is the problem, because it's in back, and we can't have somebody going, we don't have the manpower.
Well, it would be the neighbors that would complain or call.
But you know what, they don't now.
Well, maybe when they get bitten by mosquitoes, like I did, that's what spurred me
And
into
I'm not
action.
discounting what you're saying. I'm not
No, but only the
discounting
people that would probably find that to be a nuisance would be the ones that would call.
with,
we'd like to
wouldn't-
be
you
more
wouldn't have to find
proactive
them.
about it, is what
Yeah.
we'd like to be, more proactive and not wait till someone gets bitten, but to
Yeah.
Diane's point, we can't go up and down every alley.
No,
because-
you're not gonna be able to find them. You're not gonna be able to go in the backyards.
Beth, what is the procedure after we do it the first time? What is the?
Well, you have to give them some time to comply. You can't simply go on someone's property and seize things in their yard. And if they don't comply, then you're going to have to give them the opportunity to go to court, and you're not going to be able to just take that out of the procedure.
Yeah.
You can't issue a fine to someone and a finding that they violated an ordinance if they disagree without going to court. You can't take out that step.
No.
It's not legal.
Okay.
So I understand your frustration, but you can't just do away with all the due process.
No, I understand that, and I don't expect that to happen. But I do expect there to be an ordinance, because when, for example, the ordinance officer goes to someone's house, they're limited by the 4 tires. And I don't think that should be a limitation. At least the people that want, the neighbors, the residents that want to have no tires around their house, at least they have a way out. 4 tires isn't gonna do anything, really. But like you say, there's a problem with enforcement, and that's gonna be up to the people, or maybe the building inspector that drives around, or somebody from the city that drives around. Anybody that drives around from the city that sees it, then they can, bring it to the ordinance officer's attention.
Another thing that went into that decision is sometimes people will have decent tires and they want to put them out front and try to sell them. And we really, if it's not something they want to dispose of, they should have that right to do that to a certain extent, not leave them out there or whatever. So it's kind of, you're kind of walking a thin line there to where you're infringing on their right to dispose of a property that they don't want anymore in a way other than just, take it on. And that entered into the decision too for the ordinance.
Well, disposing of property, that should always be second according to a health risk. You should not have health risk just because you're trying to dispose of property. You can endanger some other people's lives because you're trying to dispose of tires, and that doesn't make sense. There are ways if somebody wants to, they could, I mean, there's things that you can do to treat your tires so that they're not even, they can kill the larvae. Yes. But I think that with the internet, with Craigslist, with all these other things, there's ways to advertise tires if you have something to sell, that you don't have to stick them out in front of your house and try to put a sign up and try to sell them. Because I don't think many people see tires out in front of people's houses. You need to get a broader audience than just somebody that lives on your street to sell your tires.
That's basically a policy decision.
Yeah.
So
So let
was
me
it-
ask you, when they go to court to fight, they're fighting the ordinance?
Or they're saying they didn't violate the ordinance, or they're gonna ask for more time to comply. But you can't, like I said, you can't just go onto somebody's property and declare they violated an ordinance and seize things. You have to go through that procedure. So you're not gonna ever have, when you have an ordinance, instantaneous relief. So with regard to whether it should be 10 tires, 4 tires, 1 tire, no tires, that's a policy decision for you as to whether or not you wish to modify your ordinance.
You're only allowed to have 4 tires, aren't you?
Right,
So they are in violation by 6.
yes.
Yes. Well, it's gonna be better now that we have an ordinance enforcer versus adding it on to, the chiefs, in their spare time, basically.
So you've already called the ordinance enforcer, so they know about it, so the time should be going now, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has he contacted your neighbor?
Yeah. There's another idea. When an ordinance officer goes to these people that have the tires, since it's going to be a long-term situation, weeks, maybe days, maybe weeks, before anything can be done. There are things that you can put inside tires to kill the larvae. For example, you can put, I think, a tablespoon of bleach per gallon inside tires. You can put these things called mosquito bits, which kill the larvae. Maybe the city should fund that. Any tires that, if an ordinance officer is called over to people's houses and they have time to dispose of the tires, but in the meantime, the city will provide a packet and put it into the tires until they can be disposed of. That could be like a treatment for the disease, stop the disease from happening.
As long as they don't take advantage of it and just get redundant and just keep getting the treatment, don't do anything with the tire. We'd have to
No,
put a
you still
restriction
have
on
to
it.
have the ordinance,
Right.
but this is just during the period of time that they get rid of it.
But yeah, I agree. 'Cause they're
That,
gonna-
it wouldn't be
they're gonna stall.
much cost. I mean, bleach is cheap, first of all. You
Well, it
could-
depends, we'd have to talk to the Office of State Chemist to see if there's any legality issues with the city doing that.
Right.
Because in order to do that, technically, you have to have a pesticide license.
You
Yeah.
have to have personnel.
One of the things
to
I
that
do
too.
appreciate, you don't just come and with a complaint, you come with solutions.
Right.
Thank you for that. I
Yes.
love that more than anything.
Yes.
Okay.
You give me a lot to chew on personally, which I like to chew on stuff, but thank you for at least bringing possible solutions.
Okay.
That I like.
Yes.
Well, you got anything else?
I'm gonna call the Office of State Chemist and see.
Cities all around the country are starting to take this more serious now, and many of them are starting to outlaw open tires, this
Yeah.
kind of thing. I think that, like I say, I think that outlawing them is not unreasonable.
I
don't
agree.
think, and I think if they want to store them, they store them in their sheds or they store them, someplace.
Okay.
They should be
Don't care
undercover,
about
or they should be in a
beautification.
shed.
Goes along with that.
Or they
Right.
just shouldn't be out there collecting water. All right, I don't think that's too much to ask for any resident. And they should be forced into that action, because it should not become a health hazard just because they're lazy.
Well, okay, we got a lot of things to think about, and I appreciate you coming and voicing your opinion. And again, thank you for the information, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate you attending.
Yes.
As you see, we don't have an influx of people, and we welcome any citizen that has a concern or whatever to please attend the meetings.
Okay, is there anything else? Anybody got anything else? Jesse?
I have a couple of things.
You're not the public, you're the park superintendent.
There wasn't a spot for me, so. One thing, the community garden work day for Offutt's Park Community Garden is this Saturday, May 12th, from 11:30 to 3:30. They're looking for volunteers to help set up their garden beds up there. The other thing is, I don't know if you all have heard, but the big announcement has come. Our concert for the amphitheater on September 1st is Jack Russell's Great White. Tickets go on sale on June 1st on eventbrite.com. Prices are $15 and $25. The $25 tickets are for down below, so does anybody have any?
Will they be sold at the door also?
If we've sold out under the roof and the weather is decent that day, there have been talks of selling lawn tickets at the door.
And this is not a memorial concert.
No, this is Great White.
Yeah, this is Great White, so.
And the opener is Connorsville native, Jay Bales. He was in a band called 7 Days Away. They've produced records. They were pretty big here in town, and they moved out to Los Angeles, and since then broke up. But he's coming back to town and helping us out. He's volunteering his time and his talent to help with this cause. And again, all the money that is raised at the concert is going to the ballpark at River's Edge.
Mayor, I would just like to publicly thank everyone that's been involved in getting this put together, because it's been a lot of work, a lot of personal time spent, and I appreciate it.
We've got a lot more to go. We've got a great committee. Chad's on it. Brad couldn't be here tonight. He's a little down in the back. Amanda Falk and Brian Durham and Ripper, what's his first name? Tom Ripper, yes, he's helping us with the concessions, so.
Thank you.
Yep, everyone's pitching in and working hard, and we've got a lot of work to go, but we're enjoying it and having a good time with it, so. That's all
Thank
I
you,
got.
Jesse.
Thank you.
I have one quick other thing I forgot, and I promise I won't dwell on it, but the railroad tracks at 18th and Western. I'm getting call after call, and one lady has broken a piece on her car, and I know it belongs to the railroad, but
We've contacted all the railroads about their crossings,
The one down at 9th and Western is just about as bad.
and that's,
It's really
we've
bad.
already talked to them about those.
But 18th is really bad, especially eastbound.
How far is the railroad responsible for from their track?
Well, this here's right in the track.
it's the track itself.
So I mean, you say,
I think it's 8
for
foot in it,
example,
Gabe.
you've got the 2 iron rails, so from the iron rails outboard, how far from the iron rail are they?
I'm not sure what the span of the railroad is. Is it
I don't-
20 feet?
No, it's,
I'm not sure either,
I
but they
think
would
it's-
at least have to go out to the edge of the
Tracks.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've been contacted, and we'll see what happens.
have you gotten any response from the contact?
Haven't got it from one, but the other one I have. And they know that, and they're gonna fix them.
Well, can we go in there and fix it ourselves if they don't? That one at 18th Street,
We can.
Well, we fixed the one at
30th.
At 21st Street also.
You're kind of setting a precedent.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
if we start
Yeah.
fixing it, then
Yeah.
we need to send them a bill.
Absolutely.
Because we've got 3 under our belt right now.
That's,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
What's the legality of that, Beth?
Well, if we fix it, we're volunteering to fix it, we can send them a bill, but I don't know
They're
that we
not
could
gonna-
make them pay.
They won't.
They won't.
If there's an incident though, who's legally
Well,
liable?
if they're responsible for maintaining
It's
it,
the
they are.
railroad.
So they would be liable.
So, they've been contacted. Have you got any email back from them on the one yet?
No, you're the one that sent it.
Oh, well,
Why don't we
I
have,
thought I copied you on it.
Mayor, why don't we have our attorney send them the letter?
Okay, we can do that.
Would you do
Oh,
that,
yes,
ma'am?
I'd be glad
Please?
to, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm done.
Mike, it is on my list.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything else? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, adjourned.